I am so happy that this debate has surfaced. You know, to disturb the communal harmony of this country, there are four elements. One is the ownership and property of religious places. Second is conversion. Third is processions, religious processions. And fourth is inter-religion marriages. And these are broadly the four elements which disturb the social fabric and the peace and tranquility in the society. Now, for far too long, this issue of allurement and forced conversion has been there, but deliberately people have chosen to turn a blind eye. For the simple reason that it was always the minorities which are accused of doing and having practiced this. This is probably the first time when the majority community is being targeted on this. My issue is simple. There seems to be unanimity that forced conversion through allurement or through threat is not something which should be permissible in any civilized society.
But in this case, it was a lured conversion. Let me quote Ismail Khan, who's the Pradhan of these 57 families who got converted. He said, all of us live here in Kacha houses and pick rags for a living. We came here and settled 12 years ago from Bihar and Bengal. 15 days ago, a man from the locality came to me and asked me if we had ration cards, to which I replied in the affirmative. Then he said if we had BPL cards. When I said no, he would arrange it for us. Obviously, they were being lured into this in the name of BPL cards.
Agreed. Mr. Jacob, the entire argument is that the conversion took place through allurement. And this is bad. The issue is, if this is bad, under what law? Unfortunately, we have been demanding the enactment of a law which prohibits conversion on allurement or force or threat. But it has always been opposed.
But you condemn this specific instance. You condemn this specific instance.
Please, we will be taking a shortcut and we will not be doing justice to this very grave issue.
It's a very simple, straightforward question. Do you condemn this incident or do you not?
Simple is that any conversion which takes place out of allurement, forcible threats or otherwise is condemnable.
And by implication, if this were forced, Sudhanshu Mittal, you condemn this as well. Okay, I want to bring in Mr. Wakar.
There can't be a debate on that. Zakir, I think you being very uncharitable to the Prime Minister. See, in no uncertain words, he condemned the statement of Sadhvi Niranjana and said we do not subscribe to the statement. And he made her apologize. So saying that he's coming soft on this, I don't think is right. Now let me address the core issue. What is the core issue? I just heard a very eloquent argument by Sharad ji of how communal politics suits us. Sharad ji, you were charitable to say that during the Lok Sabha we did not subscribe to communal politics. We practiced secular politics, and look how successful were we. Do you think you understand it and we don't understand it? We also understand that communal politics does not suit us, so we do not practice.
So then why are we seeing, Mr. Mittal, why are we then seeing rising instances of communal polarization, communal incidents in Uttar Pradesh, and people like Yogi Adityanath are now making a statement that he's going to have a mass Ghar Wapsi on Christmas Day in Aligarh? And yet we don't see any of the big leaders of the BJP condemn that statement. And this by no means, Mr. Mittal, this is a sitting MP. This is a sitting MP of the BJP.
Mr. Zakir,
not some two-bit politician.
Mr. Zakir, sir, your own constitution permits him that. You want to deprive him of his constitutional right.
Permits him what?
Article 25 is what you just now, allow me. Let me finish my argument.
Yeah.
You just now read out Article 25, which says that anybody who wants to convert has a right to convert. The only restriction is public order. The restriction is that public health should not, or morality. There is unanimity that any conversion out of allurement or through force is not to be practiced. Has he said, I will forcibly convert? Has he said that I will allure them to convert? No.
So are you saying that he's doing this out of charitable reasons, philanthropic reasons, very altruistic reasons? The fact that he chose Aligarh, the fact that he chose... I gave you enough time, didn't I? The fact that he chose Aligarh, the fact that he chose Christmas Day is all very altruistic, isn't it?
Let me just finish my argument. You see, word over, it is the minorities which seek an anti-conversion law. because they fear that the majority, out of their sheer brute strength, will make them extinct. India, ironically, has a situation where the majority has been demanding an anti-conversion law which prohibits conversion out of force or by allurement. And everybody, including the minorities, have been opposing it.
Okay.
Now, here is one instance where we are saying, let us bring a law. It's not a law for the Hindus, it's a law for every citizen of this country.
Fair enough, fair enough. I think I've given you...
I don't think so. You see, everybody has a right to religion. Practicing his own religion, it's a very fundamental right and it's his choice.
Nobody's disputing that.
As I said, the issue comes only when... Yeah, nobody is disputing it. In fact, nobody is also disputing that if there is conversion out of force or allurement, it should not be permitted. Nobody is disputing that. Have you come across somebody who's endorsing it? No. Yet, when it comes to enactment in an act, for such a purpose, you will find different voices. See, this nation must be governed by very strict laws about how our social conduct has to be. Certainly, in a civilized society, allurement and threat cannot be permissible for conversion of religion.
But I think
that's all what is the case.
Mr. Mittal, I think the point that the professor was making was, you know, there are certain states, and in this country, BJP rules states where there are anti-conversion laws, but it's not so much the law that's making some of the people who went away from Hinduism to come back to Hinduism. It is the fact that they've been disillusioned with whichever religion that they went to in the first place.
No.
Why don't you answer that point?
No. I don't think Professor has very deep, and allow me to finish. I don't think the Professor has very deep understanding of what is happening in places like Meghalaya, in places like Mizoram, in Kerala, in Tamil Nadu, in so many areas. It's a very simplistic explanation, and as far as Hinduism is concerned, what are we discussing, sir? Sir, what are we discussing?
What are you talking?
Unfortunate part is, what are we discussing? We are discussing, let's stop what we are talking. We are talking about an incident, and we are talking about the fallout of the incident. I do not know what Mr. Sharadji is talking.
We are talking of larger issues. You are trying to
Sharad, let him finish. Mr. Mittal, finish your point.
Let me finish. The proposition is simple. This civilized society of India does not endorse any conversion, whether it is in Hinduism or out of Hinduism. It does not endorse any conversion which is out of allurement or by force. And so is the case with Sikhs, so is the case with Islam, so is the case with the Parsis, so is the case with Christians. If there is unanimity about it, all what is said is, let us not spread communal disharmony.
No, one sec. You will assure minorities who are watching this program, Mr. Mittal, that tomorrow if a law were to come on anti-conversion by force, that will not be used as an instrument by the state to persecute them. That assurance you will give? Let him say that. Let him say that.
Why should the minorities fear that if they are not converting people out of force or allurement? I don't think anybody who's a law-abiding citizen of this country has reasons to fear that they will be persecuted. You see, you have to understand, even the majority or the minority, none should fear if they are following the law of land.
Okay.
All what is being said is, let us enact the law of land which does not permit such forced or allured conversion.
I want to get final comments. I think Mr. Mittal, you made your point.